Never miss an episode of the Final Furlong podcast. Subscribe now on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And now, here's your host, Emmet Kennedy.
Welcome back to the weekend preview. It is great to have your company. He did it again. Andy Newton. 16-1 winning nap. Not just a winning tip, winning nap from Andy Newton. The Nap King. Peter Michael said the other day, he's now Andy the Nap Newton. That's the new name. We might have to change it on his description. Hopefully you were on his nap last week. We had several winners on the podcast last week. It was a really good weekend. That's 8 winning podcasts in a row. It's 8 podcasts with at least one double-figure priced winner in a row for previews. I really hope you were on board. You're very welcome to the podcast. Thank you for the kind words about it. George Gorman, Andy Newton, Peter Michael with me to preview the weekend's best racing. And obviously it's a massive weekend of racing, and hopefully we're going to point you in the direction of a few winners. The first race we're going to preview is at the Curragh on Saturday. It's the 5:10. Why are we previewing the 5:10, the Curragh on Saturday? Oh, I don't know. Let's have a little look at the race title name there. What does that say? Final Furlong Podcast with 1xBet Handicap. Yeah! So, this is something we've been working on for quite a while. Nothing on the show changes. There's not going to be some brand ambassador interjecting into the show, and no, the editorial content stays as it is. Obviously, we'll be giving 1xBet quite a few mentions. They're the official betting partner of Barcelona FC. Maybe we might be able to blag a few tickets for Barcelona games. I'm not entirely sure, but they're a very ambitious company. They really want to support Irish racing. They understand the value of it. They want to support British racing as well, and we're very proud to be partnering with them. So hopefully it'll go well. I kind of feel like we should do some kind of a giveaway to celebrate this. Unfortunately, we don't have the merchandise sorted out yet. We'll hopefully have some baseball caps to give away and t-shirts and stuff like that, but none of that is done yet.
Actually, I don't mind, Emmet, if you want. For anyone that's, obviously the viewers who watch the show, anyone that subscribed and likes the video, if they're stupid enough to want to get a month of my free tips, no problem. No problem to put that up there. But, I mean, how will we do it? Let's say if they comment, somebody try and find the winner. So anybody that wants to enter, just comment your selection for the best race of the weekend, which is the Final Furlong Podcast Handicap with 1xBet, which is, we're going to give you the winner for, by the way. So if they want to enter, just let them comment a horse they think will win it. And if they pick the winner, if there's only one person that picks the winner, that will be the person. If 2 more people pick it, what we do, maybe in the next show, I'll put their names in a little cup and draw one out, and that'll be the person that gets a month of shit tips from me.
Genius.
Well, first of all, minding my own business, and suddenly I get a push notification from Peter Michael's Telegram group, which says, get in. It was actually get insert colourful language in, but we can't use that particular use of language in the first 5 minutes of a YouTube video at least, and I think the podcast algorithm wouldn't appreciate it. Although the second captain's boys constantly drop F-bombs. You're all right, Peter. They might blur it out. Maybe Neve will use the old beep button. But it's just to prove that, yet again, you're banging in the winners left, right, and centre, and another double figure.
Well, yeah. In fairness, we were having a tough month, but in the last week, I've had 16-1, 22-1, 11-2, 9-4 winners, 10-1, 10-11, 2-1, and a 28-1 shot that should have beaten Andy in the, what was the Cambridgeshire, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Andy.
It was too old, mate. I told you.
We didn't even get. We should have got another exacta. Ray Dawson's asleep. Yeah. Wake up, Ray. Wake up.
The jockey gave it a bit of a shocker at Rocker, didn't he, on your one? So
really good jockey. I don't know what the hell he was doing.
Yeah, I feel sorry for him, and I don't like, I only like having. I have to say it how it is. It's what I do. It's part of my job. But I don't like kicking a man when they're down, and I'm sure Ray really felt bad about that ride. So,
not as bad as you did.
Yeah, well, it's when you do this for a living and you pick out a 28-1 shot that should have won the race, those 50s in the exchanges, it takes a bit of time to get over.
To be honest, Peter, I was quite happy with the bad ride. To be honest, yeah.
Oh, you were delighted. Yeah, it was great for you. I'd had the first 4 winners, so we'd had True Love, Bow Echo, Hawk Mountain, Wise Approach. So they've all gone in, all rolling on to Isenjan. I was like,
did you have a minute?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And to make matters worse, composing instead of Dorset, like a genius.
Oh, Jesus.
So yeah, that would have been,
you won this side by 6 lengths or something.
Very nearly left out Enzinjan and threw in Rebel's Romance, but wasn't smart enough to do that. So look, I got paid, but I would have been paid like an extortionate amount of money had that horse gotten up. And if I'd been really smart and just gone with what Andy had said and ignored my own work, it was just a coincidence that you and I both liked Enzinjan. If I'd just gone with Andy Andy the Nap Newton, who keeps on banging in these winning naps. No pressure, Andy. Made an absolute fortune. We really appreciate your support of the show. Comment your selection for the 510, the Final Furlong Podcast with 1xbet.ie handicap. Tell us who you think is going to win that race. If you are correct, you may very well win yourself a month's subscription to Peter Michael's excellent tipping service for free.
Yeah, and if there's one or more winners, we'll do a draw on the next podcast show.
Who do you think is going to win the handicap? The feature race of the weekend, Peter.
Could you not have sponsored an easier race, Emmet? For God's sake. 22 runner handicap at the Curragh is probably going to be in very, very soft ground. Look, it's hard to know. I tell you, I missed. Now let me see how I pronounce this horse. Caesar G. I had him tracked after his run in Navan because he caught my eye, and I don't know what happened that day, but I missed him on the 20th of September, and it was only a few days ago I copped on that he won at 12-1. So I was very annoyed at myself. I don't take these things too well, but yeah, I watched the race today. He was under pressure a long, long way from home. So I don't know. He clearly needs more than a mile, but he might have learned a bit from that day as well. So that's who I'm going to put up for it. But I mean, there's so many in there that are unexposed. Obviously, you have a few there that have ran a good few times. So it's a hard race to weigh up, lads. But another one that Noel Meade used to train. I put him up in my group the last time he ran, and he won first. Antoine de Paris. He was putting a claimer. He's run a good few races as well. I don't know how he'd go on the ground, but if he handles the ground, he'd have a chance as well. So I'll go with Caesar G, and I'd keep an eye on Antoine de Paris as well. He could have a chance.
Does anybody else have a view on the 510, the feature race of the entire weekend?
2 bullets as well, just not knowing exactly what the prices are at the moment. Gold Rush Kids last win came over course and distance in March off the same mark as this with a £5 claimer on board. He's been mostly raced over 7 furlongs since. Finally found his way down to the same mark, and he returns to the scene of the crime, back off a mile again with a £7 claimer on board this time. I think he'll go very close. And God Knows was beating 3/4 of a length last time off over a mile 2 off £3 lower than this. But his last win over this trip came 4 starts back at Bellewstown off this mark. Those were both of those runs were without the assistance of a claim. Here he's got the help for a £7 claimer, and he's got a 2nd, 3rd and a 4th from 6 visits to the track previously. So sort of 2 horses that will be suited by the track and the distance, etc. And I will give a small mention. It's not a tip, but one sort of keep an eye on in the market is this. I think you say CZG. I would say I'll pronounce it. I think number 19.
That's the one Peter likes. Number 19 for the record.
Is that how we're saying it?
Caesar G.
Yeah. It's just caught my eye. It was sent off 100-1, 200-1, a pair of maidens, and then bolted up on handicap debut. The sort of horse he's gone up £7, but he probably could be anything. It'd be worth checking in the market. I think got the SP of 12s here. I think he touched like 7s, 6s on the day back when he won. Clearly, someone new.
He caught my eye to run before that, and I missed it. I'm sure he would have been 33. Hold on, I can check in Irish Racing what price he was in the morning.
Okay, while you're doing that, Andy, who's your selection?
I don't want to be doing this because I should have backed him, but anyway.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, God Knows is probably an apt named horse, isn't it, for a race like this? And that's actually one I came down as well, George. Only really because the trainer's going all right. I think he's actually got quite a good record here as well. Something like 2 from 8 or something with this age group. Like you say, the claimer is on board this time, so he's better off at the weights, likes the track as well. And then the other one was that Counterculture. I'm not sure if that'll go off Fab or not, but Billy Lee's on it. And the McCreary camper going, but their strike rate at the moment is something like 26% strike rate. So, yeah, it's a pin job race, isn't it, really? But, God Knows and Counterculture.
I think another one we should mention, lads, I forgot to mention him, is Gavin's one. Boogie in the Jungle.
Yes.
I think if she handles the ground,
3 runs.
She'd have a chance because she went off 4-1 in her maiden, and for Gavin's to go 4-1, they must be working well. And if they're working well, he's normally not too far off the mark.
Well, the pro form top rated horse for this is Gold Rush Kid, who Peter also liked. With the
I never mentioned that.
That was mine.
Sorry, that was George. Apologies. It's been a long day. Top rated, drops in class, interesting runner. All right, there you've got a short list. You've got a short list for the feature race of the entire weekend. The 5:10, the Final Furlong Podcast with 1xBet.ie Handicap live on Racing TV.
They have to also like the video. Come on, you have to.
You have to subscribe to the channel. If nobody gets the winner, but you get the second or you get the third.
No, I only take winners in my group. So yeah. If nobody picks the winner, the highest finished placing horse.
Perfect. So best of luck. Thank you for watching the Final Furlong Podcast. Thank you for listening to the show. We really appreciate your support of it. There are some other races on over the weekend. There's some intriguing ones as well. And sometimes the Sun Chariot Stakes gets sort of lost in the Group 1 glory of Paris Longchamp. But this weekend, I think it's a really interesting running of the race. We've got a horse who's going for her 5th Group 1 win and her 3rd Group 1 win in a row in Fallen Angel after wins in France in the Prix Rothschild and the Matron Stakes at Leopardstown on Irish Champions Weekend. She was really good that day. And we've also got Cinderella's Dream for Charlie Appleby, who obviously dominates the Newmarket. William Buick is in tremendous form, and she was a Group 1 winner earlier in the season as well. 3-year-olds have won 15 of the last 25 runnings. Obviously, the other 10 have been won by older horses, but older horses have won 9 of the last 16 runnings of the race. So the question is, who are you going to be siding with? George Gorman.
Of the ones towards the top of the market, I think they do have Cinderella's Dream to beat. She was beat January on the July course 2 starts back. He went on to be beaten ahead in the Prix Rothschild, which was another Group 1. She proved that she handled the track, winning the Dahlia over a furlong further earlier in the year. There's not much between her and Fallen Angel, but on Fallen Angel's only start on this course in the Guineas of last season, was it last season Guineas? Fallen Dancer hung markedly left. That's that horse's only visit to the track so far. So it'd just be enough when there's so little in it between the betting. I'll take the one that's suited by the track more. In terms of bigger prices, Cheshire Dancer caught my eye a bit. It's taken a huge step forwards this season out of handicap company. He started by winning the Group 3 Valiant Stakes at Ascot. While the form of that generally hasn't held up, the 8th has won a handicap since, and the 6th horse, Royal Dress, went very close in Ashanti Group 3. The rest of them have done very little, I will say. But regardless of that, she upheld the form well enough herself in a Kentucky Group 3. She had the classic European horse, hard luck story, started too slowly, ran on like a steam train, then suffered interference in the straight. Despite that, she was only just held for 3rd. So she comes here in good heart and could make a mark. She's on a 5-race streak of recording a career best RPR. I think that's the sort of horse that's going forwards, that's improving all the time, that could well make a mark here at a big price. So I think Cinderella's Dream's the most likely winner, but Cheshire Dancer won't be far away at a big price.
Andy Newton.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those coin flicks. There's going to be people in Cinderella's camp and people in Fallen Angel's camp, and there's a pound between them in the ratings. And like George said, it might just come down to the fact that Cinderella's Dream, has won at the track. They both ran in that Guineas, didn't they? I think one was 7th and one was 8th, so there wasn't a lot between them that day.
There's a neck, I think.
There's a neck between that day, but like you say, Cinderella's Dream has come back out and won. But I don't know, Fallen Angel was impressive last time, but in France and at Leopardstown as well. So it is a tricky one. Then you throw Lady of Spain in there. That is the sort of improver. It's stepping up from whatever it was, Group 3, I think last time, up until to Group 1. But has won its last 4 and could be the old anything sort of category. I think it beat Blue Bolt last time, so it should have that measure again, I think. It's giving it £3, I think. It's giving it £3. So I think it will have that measure again. It's probably a no bet race for me. It's a bit of a boring one, but I really couldn't put you off any of them, Cinderella's Dream or Fallen Angel. It's just whatever camp you're in, probably Cinderella's Dream at a little push, only because of the track thing, like George said. But it's really tricky, this one.
It's good to firm ground at Newmarket right now, but there's a bad storm on the way. It's status yellow weather warning for Ireland, so the Curragh is going to be a washout by the looks of things. Whether that really affects Newmarket, I don't know, but there is rain forecast and quite a bit of it, and the rain that's forecast should affect the ground. And if it does, I think Fallen Angel is a good thing. She's going for her 3rd consecutive Group 1 win of the season, her 5th Group 1 overall. Her 2 wins have come in cheek pieces. The first time she wore the cheek pieces was at Royal Ascot, where the ground was just way too firm for her that day. But she was really good in the Prix Rothschild at Deauville. She was even better in the Matron Stakes, and the clock watchers were purring about that. I was really interested in exactly for this race because she was a much bigger price, but obviously Aidan O'Brien's decided not to run her. She's going to be ridden on the front end when you get to the lead at Newmarket, you can be very difficult to peg back. I think James Doyle's going to have her in a really good spot and be very, very difficult to beat. So Fallen Angel is the one for me. The only other interesting one potentially is Lady of Spain, because we don't know how good this horse is. And she is related to horses who've won on good to firm ground, but they've obviously been quiet with her, and she's exciting. So the horse that sets the standard in my mind, Fallen Angel, but perhaps Cinderella's Dream will give Charlie Appleby his first win in the race. Peter, for you?
Yeah, like you said, we're good to firm ground as we're doing this. 20 mils of rain forecast between now and Saturday. 45 miles an hour wind on Saturday's forecast. So it's a very hard podcast to do this Thursday, lads, because we don't really know what we're dealing with on Saturday. Cinderella's Dream is never raced on anything softer than good. So if it gets soft, I don't even know if she'll run. So that's going to change everything in the race. Fallen Angel has to be respected. We'll go on the ground. Take Cinderella Dream out of it. If she doesn't run, Fallen Angel is has the clear class edge in the race. If somehow we end up with good ground, I think Cinderella's Dream is probably the one to beat. If it goes on the soft side, I will take a chance with Lady of Spain. I thought she needed the run the last day. I saw her at the start. I was out with a few friends, and one of them actually had a little bet on the horse. And I saw this horse at the start, and I said to him, "You can tear up your ticket." I said, "This horse looks fatter than me," which she nearly did. And I couldn't believe she won, because I'm sure she's going to come on for that. So I think, and she's unbeaten, so you have to like her. I mean, that was a big step up for her into Group 3, and she won it nicely, and it was on soft ground. So I think she's going to come on a good bit for that, and she's fresh. So believing that the rain's going to come and the ground's going to go soft, I'll go with Lady of Spain each way in that race, because, I mean, there's no reason why she shouldn't beat Blue Bolt again. I think she's better off in the weights, and she'll be a lot fitter, so she should be finishing out of Blue Bolt anyway. And
she came from a mile back to win that race really, really impressively. She's an exciting filly for sure. We'll switch to Ascot for the 150. The Rous Stakes, it's a listed contest, and Cadran tipped at 20-1 on the Final Furlong Podcast when winning the Beverly Bullet Stakes, is out again. Good friend of the show. He was miles clear of the rest. Well, he was 3 lengths clear of Montesib, a Group 1 winner, when finishing second the other day. He was collared late on. I think he'll be pretty hard to beat. He does carry a penalty, George, for that Beverly win, but he's dropping in class. Stiff 5 furlongs is going to make him pretty hard to beat in my mind.
Yeah, I would be in sort of agreement, but I just the sprinters, like say, it's all a bit, what do we call it? The wheel of sprinters, or whatever it's called.
Sprint Wheel of Fortune.
Sprint Wheel of Fortune, yeah. And he has strung together 2 good runs now. I'd be more inclined to just spin the wheel a little on something that's a slightly bigger price. I thought Cover Up was a very good winner over course and distance 2 starts back in a handicap before having a 2-month break. And on his return, he ran with credit to be 4th in what was his first European group race. He run in Maidan in a Group 3 and a Group 2, close up behind likes of Westacre and Pontos twice. But the last day, he was just 2 lengths behind Cadran. If that run sharpened him up a bit, he could just be overpriced here. Again, I'd say like the last race, 3 out of his 4 turf wins have come on good or good to firm. Last time out was good to soft, so he handles as much as good to soft. I wouldn't want to see it go much worse than that. And I said that goes for my selections in the first race as well. I'm very much sort of going, I'm shooting the race as I see it at the moment and hoping the rain doesn't come. But if there's an absolute deluge and it's soft at all these tracks, just check my Twitter in the morning, because I usually put up my selections on Saturdays anyway, but I may well put up a completely different set of selections if it comes up soft.
At George F. Gorman, and that's the man to be following on Saturdays, at George F. Gorman, for a full breakdown of all his selections on Saturday on X. Andy Newton, the Nap King, who do you like?
It's another tricky one, isn't it? I mean, look, Candy won on this card last year. I think it won the Redcar 2-year-old trophy. That won't mind the rain if it comes. My problem with that, though, Richard Spencer, 2 from 52 at Ascot is his strike rate sort of coming into Saturday. So that's that one. Look, Cadran, that was a great shout in the bullet that you put, and it's sort of holding its form okay after that. Has to give £5 away to that Beautiful Diamond, though, which would be the worry. I mean, that was second in the race last year as well, 2 lengths behind Rumstar. probably you could argue, is it as strong a race as last year? Probably not. Like I say, gets £5 off Chariot. One last time at Ayr, that was a decent effort, but it's a bit of a cool specialist there. I think it's 3 from 3. So, but that was on soft. So any rain, Beautiful Diamond would be fine. Bigger price, Wolverhampton could bounce back, course and distance form, and that won't mind any rain either. So, but yeah, I think last year's second Beautiful Diamond is going to be the one to beat here. Colbert, Clifford Lee did us a favour last week with Boiling Point, and I think it's the one to beat here again here. Won't mind any of the ground. I mean, it's run twice at Ascot, came third in the Queen Mary in 2023 and second in this last year, so we know the track's fine. So yeah.
Not only is Beautiful Diamond the Proform top rated, and you can sign up at proformracing.com. They're excellent. I highly recommend them. And there's entire databases that you can get access to, all kinds of stats and all kinds of trends, but also their form is just fantastic. Not only is he the top rated, or she top rated, Beautiful Diamond, yes indeed, sorry, misgendered her, also has the top speed figure, the gold speed figure for the race. So Andy Newton is in line with Proform. Maybe that's the horse to go with, but Chagrin is the one for me. Peter Michael, who are you with?
Well, we're dealing with good ground at the moment, and there's 22 mils forecast tomorrow. Looking at the weather forecast, tomorrow looks just like from tonight, it looks as if it's going to rain all day tomorrow, all through till the morning of Saturday. So, again, a lot is going to matter on what actually falls on the track. If the going goes soft, which I'm imagining it will be, I'll be favouring Beautiful Diamond. We'll have no problem on the soft ground. Has the class to beat these, and as Andy said, has ran in this race before. Goes on the track, so she ticks more boxes, I think, than anything else in this race. So I mean, I wouldn't be overly confident, but I could see her running a big race for sure because she's everything in her favour. If the ground goes soft, I mean, she'll handle it better than most of these will, in my opinion. So she should be running a good race, but again, I'd be treading carefully this weekend.
If I don't jump ship, that horse is going to win, and then I'm going to feel like a fool. So now I have to do 2 lucky 63s or lucky 31s, whichever one it is. One of them includes Beautiful Diamond. The other one includes my selection, Chagrin. Or maybe I just say, thanks, Chagrin.
Last week, with Boiling Points.
What do you think I was thinking on Saturday? What do you think the first thing I was thinking on Saturday was? Why didn't I do 2 of them like an idiot?
It's a bit late now.
Oh. They'd have been paying us an installment.
Andy, wipe that smile off your face, will you? You shouldn't have won the race.
He wouldn't be here, though. He'd be in Dubai, wouldn't he? So, there is a bit of a...
Yeah, live from Dubai. And we'd all be in Dubai. Every single one of us would be in Dubai if we'd done that. Oh, man, I was so... But hey, listen, maybe you did it. Maybe you were smarter than me. And if you did do that multiple, let us know, or smash a like on this video now. It's much appreciated. Okay, we'll switch to the 225, which is the Cumberland Lodge at Ascot. Hamish won this race 3 years ago. He's favourite, but he faces Al Karim, who's won the last 2 runnings of this race and drops in class, having competed in Group 1 company, and he took on Trawlerman in a Group 2 the time before. I'm a little bit surprised that he's not favourite. For all that Hamish has been good in his last couple of starts, George, they were listed contests. Surely Al Karim's got a massive chance here.
He has, but his sort of, not resurgence, but his good season, Al Karim, has mostly come up further than this, sort of mile 6-ish. That's just for me. Hamish is a 14-time winner, including 8 at this trip. While he has had a few decent wins to his name over a mile 6, he's he's won 8 times at mile 4, and he's got a course and distance win to his name, which is obviously this 3 years ago. He's well treated at the weights. He comes here in great heart, having won both of his starts this season. So I think Al Karim might need further these days. Military Academy's getting further behind him each time they meet. If there were more runners, and I could have maybe had an each way interest on Sir Dinadam, but the reaching for the tongue tie could be a big positive or a big negative here. Maybe the fact that neither of his stable jockey, his first and second choice jockey, aren't here to ride him sort of says it all. But I think it might be fairly straightforward with just Hamish here. He's, 126 pounds well in with Al Karim on ratings here. And I think that's probably going to be too tall a hill for Al Karim to climb at this trip.
Okay. Is this too big a task for our old favourite Tenability, who's done us quite a few favours on the show, Andy? Or could he cause a bit of an upset?
It's an interesting one, Tenability. Obviously, it's won its last 3 at Ascot, so the tracks will be fine, softer ground will be fine. The thing with Tenability for me is the jockey. I mean, Kieran Fallon rode it last time, and he's now on Hamish. So that says it all for me. So I'm with George. I mean, I think it's, £6 probably has to find Al Kareem, because it's giving away £3 and it's rated £3 lower. So, I mean, look, they've been very selective with Hamish over the years. And, again, like George said, it's won, 14 of its 26 races. It's 9-year-old now. But still fairly, I mean, look, Al Kareem's had more races. That's had 33 races, and there's 3 years between the two. So, that sort of tells its own story.
That's a good point.
So Dinadan, that's obviously got form in the Irish Derby and so on. But I think its only win was a novice, and it was, it's quite a while ago back now. The tongue tie's going on. It's still got a bit to find the weights. That military academy's got all linked to form with all of them as well. But look, Hamish for me, I think it's just going to get the job done here again, to be honest with you. Sorry if there's a kid crying in the background. But I don't know if you can hear that, but the kid thinks Hamish is going to win as well, right?
Hey! Probably annoyed that he didn't get best price on Liberty Lane last week. Gamble responsibly and all that malarkey, of course. Maybe Hamish is going to provide a belated form boost for Kalpana, perhaps. Peter Michael?
Yeah, I mean, first thing I'm going to say is what a horse Hamish is. I mean, he's nearly 10 and he's still mixing it, top for very, very good horses. He's a horse, I think, that nearly everybody in racing can't help but like. I mean, I imagine he's going to get his ground. It's going to be pretty soft if that rain falls. So, yeah, for me, he's the one to beat. But I find it very interesting that William Haggas is putting Tenability in this race. To me now, I would have been extremely sweeting him off a handicap off 100 after his last run, because I think those two horses, I mean, those are 2 horses I was following going into that race, Tenability and Push the Limit. And immediately after that race, I said to myself, these two, they're going to win big handicaps. And I was hoping they wouldn't clash, but unfortunately, he's running now. Tenability is running on Saturday in the Group 3, and Push the Limit, I think, is running tomorrow in a listed race. So
4:05 Friday.
Yeah, so that wasn't good for me, because I thought both were still very well handicapped off 100. So I find it interesting. I mean, Haggas trains Hamish, so we have to remember that. So, why is he running the source? I remember he was interviewed about 2 weeks ago, after 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks ago, and he did state that Tenability wouldn't run in a handicap that he was entered. I can't remember what handicap it was. Obviously, it was a big handicap. I mean, he's a gelding. It's not as if, it's a filly or something. He wants to get black type. He's a gelding. There's nothing to be gained breeding-wise by this. It's just interesting, and there's definitely more to come from that horse. But at the end of the day, Al Kareem and Hamish are very, very good horses, and so are Military Academy and St. Dinadan in their own right. So it is a big, big, big step up in class for him. He needs to improve around Stone to be competitive. He gets to 8 for age, so maybe that, that could help him. I'm going to go for Hamish, but I definitely will be back in Tenability as well. I can't let him run at that price without a bet. So Hamish and Tenability for me.
Tanya Stevenson and I are covering Ascot on TalkSport 2 tomorrow on Friday, and that's the 4:05, the listed Noel Mulra Stakes, which Push the Limit is currently a 9-4 shot for behind Arabian Force at even money. So we'll talk about that race tomorrow. There's plenty of a build up to that. I think the first race isn't off till 2:20. But that's about
what distance is that race tomorrow? Is it 1 mile 4 or 1 mile?
I thought it was a mile 4.
Okay, I don't.
Mile 6. Sorry, it's a mile 6. He's up and trip.
Yeah, that probably suit him.
It might bring about improvement, yeah, for sure. But I'm going to side with Tenability just because he's the improving young horse. I like Al Kareem. Hamish is a very, very likeable horse. But given the fact that the Haggas team are going to throw Tenability in there, and I thought the comments after the Sugar Cup were one of the most interesting things. The fact that Maureen Haggas was so frustrated, despite the fact the horse had won with the ride the horse was given. That was telling me, oh, you didn't want that horse being beaten in a handicap like that because you know how good he can be. And I thought he was really, really good the other day, and I like that Push the Limit as well. So I'll take a chance on the improving horse. The John Guest Racing Bengough Stakes features 2 former winners. We've got Anaf, who won this race in 2023. Apollo 1 won it last year. Are either of those two going to be in the winners' enclosure this time around, George?
Not for me, but Jesus, it's very tough, isn't it? Like nine's to the field about a Group 3, so it doesn't happen very often. But I've got the first of my selections is a bit of a just I feel really silly because it could seem really obvious in hindsight, but it can seem really stupid in hindsight as well. Quinault is an 8-time winner at this distance, including 3 listed races. And look, he's been running like he needs dropping back in trip over further, hasn't he? He's been blasting off in front, finishing poorly. It might be the case that's taken a bit of a toll on him attitude-wise. But I've really kicked myself. He would seem very obvious horse to drop back in trip and go and win a race like this. Like he's not the best treated in the race, but he's the highest rated in the field. I couldn't leave him go at that price. The other one that I'd take a small interest in would be Jabara. She's only got a few pounds to find on weight adjusted ratings. I think £3. And the first time cheap pieces might be what she needs to make a mark here. Like she's travelled strongly and been a weak finisher on multiple occasions this season. And the fact that they've reached for the cheek pieces rather than a tongue tie sort of implies that they think it's an attitude problem. So first time cheek pieces might just do the job in a race like this. Like, they're not strong selections, either of them. But I think that's the way I'll play this. Just I feel really silly. Quinault is a prime horse to be dropped back in trip. If that went on at 8-1 and you weren't on it, it would seem so obvious afterwards. I would say Richard Spencer's horse would come into it if it came up very soft. But I'm gonna, for now, like I say, with the ground being as it is right now, I'd play Jabara and Quinault.
Joint gold speed figure for Jabara, joint top rated in terms of speed figures at least, and I think second highest rated overall. Yeah, behind El Monjed, who was maybe he would have won anyway. I'm not so sure. That was a pretty devastating race, the race that Jim Crowley was horrifically injured in. Okay, Andy Newton, your thoughts?
Yeah, like I say, Apollo won what took this last year, but I mean, it's like 1 from 19, I think, and that was its only win in this race last year. So it's quite hard sort of horse to catch right. Second in the Portland last time, but up in grade. Prince of India won at the Curragh. I think that's going to be sort of a popular one as well as the the Haggis one at the top of the market. But look, I'm with George with Quinault. I think we put it up maybe around June time when it was a massive price at about 40s or 50s and ended up winning at about 14s or something. And yeah, like you say, the drop back in trip, it will blast out. And when you look back at that Donny race last time, it was just about leading, I think, with about a furlong to go. And obviously Marvel Man kicked in and the afterburners, and it was about 6.5 lengths or whatever at the line. But yeah, it hasn't, it's dropping back into, what is this, a Group 3? So, it's been running Group 1 before that, Group 2 before that. So last time it ran in Group 3 was when it at York, when it won. That was the time we put it up, in fact, when it went 12-1. And then look, the ground will be fine. The other one that is interesting, which is complete opposite to Quinault in terms of trip, is that Celadine, which is stepping up in trip. You watch that, and you watch the race, back at York in the Numthorpe. Obviously, that was a Group 1. It came 9th. It was only 4 3/4 lengths behind the winner. But I reckon halfway in that race, it'd probably last, or second to last.
Blew the start, didn't she? The race was over before it even began.
Exactly, but you watch the finish. It was doing its best work at the finish. Before that, ran all right at Chester over 6 furlongs. Before that at York, it's previous Lava winner, isn't it? I think in last season. So this trip will be fine. It's just the ground. I think all of its runs really. I mean, it's won once on soft, and when it ran the Guineas, and sort of bombed out. Then has run okay on good to soft, but. Anyway, I just think, look, Quinault's probably the main one, but if the rain doesn't come, that Celadine certainly interesting, I think.
Peter Michael?
Yeah, well, I think the rain is coming, and I think Apollo 1 has decent enough form with given the ground. So I mean, I think Andy said, was it 1 from 19, his last 19? So obviously that's a bit of a worry. But in fairness to the horse, he is a horse, and when he can string a few good runs together, and he's won a few races as well at this time of the year, or he's run well in them. So, we know that, he's not a horse that goes over the top as quick as others might, because, I mean, we're very close to the end of the season now. So he ticks a few boxes. So I think he'll run a good race. And if the ground does go soft, if it does go soft, which I think it will, it'll be no hindrance to him. So I'll put him up in this. But I mean, how many runners are in this? 14, sorry. And it's quite competitive. It's 5-1 the field, basically. Another one I'd give a squeak to that's definitely worth a bet at the prices, even though I think he's a better horse than the all-weather. Well, I know he's a better horse than the all-weather. Tuco Salamanca, I think, could outrun his odds at 33-1. Shrewdly enough, they brought him over from UK to Ireland for a big handicap, which I think a UK trainer should be doing a lot more of that. And he was very well backed, but he got very, he had nowhere to go, if I remember rightly, for most of the race. And I think he finished with a lot left. And he's won on the ground before. It is a big step up in classroom. Mightn't be good enough, but 33-1 is a big price. And I'll be putting something each way on him anyway. So Apollo 1 and Tuco Salamanca for me.
Tuco Salamanca to break bad in first time cheek pieces may very well. I couldn't resist that. One of the greatest TV shows of all time, and a fascinating character. All right, the 320, the one race we're going to preview at Redcar, is the 2-year-old trophy. It's obviously a listed race. Song of the Clyde brings really good sales form to the race. Good winner at York, and I think bumped into a very exciting horse from Mulborough's Yard in Calendar Girl, who we talked about in the 2-year-olds to follow podcast just last week with Georgia and Adam. George, who do you like?
I just add quickly on Tuco Salamanca. He is declared for Friday at Ascot as well, so I don't know if they would. But if there's a lot of rain due, they might well pull him out there to run him the next day when the ground's going to be worse. So I don't know. I just thought it was worth mentioning.
Good shout.
As for Redcar, if you give me a sec, Song of the Clyde is the highest rated. One or two are better treated at the weights, but. He's improved his previous best RPR by £7 on his last 2 starts. I think another jump forward, probably seem very hard to beat out of the ones at the top of the ratings like this. He's proven and is improving, which sort of just tick both the boxes for me. I'd say is probably most likely winner. But a bigger price, Exclamation, put in a career best in the Group 2 Flying Childers last time. And shape there as if his step up in trip would suit. The fact that he's out of a Ken D'Argent mare would sort of back that up as well. I think for a horse with proven Group 2 form to be the price he is I just think they've got the price wrong, basically. I don't really know how that horse ended up at 20-ish to 1 in a race like this with decent Group 2 form. So that'd be my main play, probably be Exclamation each way, but I've got a lot of respect for Song of the Clyde. He probably is the most likely winner.
Andy?
Look, not a massive opinion, but I'll chuck some quick stats out there. Look, 7 of the last 10 have been drawn 3-8. Okay, so that's that Storm Esme, Exclamation that George mentioned, that Isla Fernandez, Mystical something, I can't read my own handwriting, Magistry and Inca Heights. So they're the sort of 6 that fall into the stats for the draw. Tim Easterby's got a good record. He's won it 4 times. Richard Fahy's got a fairly good record. Favourites have actually done all right, 4 of the last 6 as well. And look, Richard Spencer won it last year, and he's not got a bad strike rate of his 2-year-olds here, 2 from 4. He's got a big price one called Born Slippy. And that Kevin Philip Defoe camp do all right here as well, 2 from 4. They're 2-year-olds, and they got that Hollywood Treasure. So just a few stats to chuck out. It's a 2-year-old race that anything can improve in, but yeah.
And very mixed form lines as well, for that matter. I can assure you, Andy Newton, no matter how bad you think your handwriting is, it's nowhere near as bad as mine. Peter Michael?
Well, I tell you, Adam Mills has the best handwriting I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yes.
Incredible.
Jesus, it's unbelievable. His handwriting's so good, I tell you.
It looks like it's been printed.
He has to have been getting gold stars left, right, and centre. That, or it's all like some AI digital artwork to make it look like he's actually doing that handwriting. But it's eloquent.
I've never seen handwriting like it in my life.
Incredible.
Jesus, tell you. Fair play, Adam. Yeah, look, again, there's rain forecast in Redcar, but not as much as the other tracks, but that doesn't mean it's not going to get enough rain to change the ground. So again, proceed with caution, I'd say, because we don't know what ground we're dealing with. If it's not too bad, Song of the Clyde, I think, will go close. If it gets soft, he's ran once on it soft on his debut at Goodwood. Didn't run great, but we don't know if that was the ground or if that was the track. I don't know. So we're kind of tipping in the dark here. Isla Fernandez will go on the ground if it gets soft. So I'll say if there's good in the description, Song of Clyde. If it's soft or worse, Isla Fernandez. But again, I'll be proceeding with precaution this weekend.
Okay, that may very well be a theme, although we have got some other races to talk to you about between now and the end of the show. Last race at Ascot on Saturday that we're going to preview anyway is the 3:35. It is the Challenge Cup. Some of our old favourites in this 7 furlong handicap, but who's going to come out on top, George?
Well, the most obvious scumbag each way bet here would be Hickory, wouldn't it? Up £3 for a course and distance win last time. 8 visits to Ascot, 2 wins, beaten 2 lengths or less on 5 occasions. And you'll probably get some extra places on this. But that's, if you're that way inclined, that's probably the safest bet here. But I'm going to give 2 Tribes another chance. He's won twice on good and once on good to soft. Now dropped £1 for a 4 3/4 length defeat in the Air Gold Cup, despite finishing 3rd in this group. I think his the only thing that was on soft ground. His only other run on soft ground saw him finish stone last. So this is really, if the rain doesn't arrive, this one. He's now off the same mark he was off when he was beating 3/4 length at York 2 starts back. Add all of that together, along with the fact he's a course and distance winner on his last visit here. I think he's got to have a good chance. And there's one right towards the bottom. Again, I just think it's a horse that's the wrong price. And a horse that we're friends with on the podcast, or certainly I am, is Yennefer. Best known for regular visits to Chester. And you'd be forgiven for thinking, this is a one-trick pony, this is a Chester horse. He's won 9 races, and only 3 of them have been at Chester. So he's certainly not a one-trick pony. I just thought he was excellent the last day. He made all, beat Hawkbill, who's disappointed since, but there were reasons for that. So he's up £4, but he's just way too big a price. So that race at Chester was a Class 2 in its own right. This is Heritage Handicap. It's still a Class 2. I can't quite see why he's right at the bottom of the betting. So I'll probably play 2 Tribes and Yennefer, and then if it absolutely pisses it down, I'll swap Hickory in for 2 Tribes.
What price was Yennefer when you tipped her on the podcast? She won.
Ooh,
she's 16th.
I wouldn't like to say it was a big price. Yeah, I wouldn't like to guess in case I get it wrong. I checked the SP.
I'm pretty sure, definitely.
Yeah.
SP was 11 to 1 was SP.
I have a feeling she was 16th when you put her up on the podcast.
Yeah, I think she probably was, yeah.
Another double figure price winner on the Final Furlong Podcast. Hopefully you have hit the subscribe button on YouTube, hit the subscribe button in your podcast app so you're not missing out on these. If you haven't, please do so now. Andy Newton, who do you like?
Sorry, I was just changing it. Palace, come on, we're 2-0 up now. Let's go.
See, I'm conflicted, and in a way, I'm really happy for my friend that his team is winning. In another way, I'm like seriously annoyed at you for completely derailing Liverpool's season, because ever since we were beaten by you, we've just fallen apart. So thanks for that, Andy.
The new Invincibles, mate. 33 to 1 to win the league. Get on now. Yeah.
Dreams alive.
Right, yeah, look, this race, Native Warrior, I think looks fairly solid here. Ticks quite a lot of the stats, age, weight, stall 9's been okay in recent years as well. Up £8 for that Sweps. Look, if the rain comes, that Thunder Roar, which I think might have been one we put up last time as well, that was 4th in the Sweps, came out and won. I think it's about £4 better off with Native Warrior, so might not be a lot between them. But Thunder Roar definitely wants it a bit softer, so hopefully it will rain. Arcadian Thunder is a horse that Peter likes, I know, and I think he probably put this up last year, and it had a bit of a shocker at Rocker Ride, came 8th.
Story of my life, mate.
Yeah, with this horse. I know you do like it. So
not anymore.
not anymore. You've crossed it off, have you?
No, I don't know. He's been hanging in his races. I don't know, for some reason. I don't know why that's creeped into him. So
well, I don't know. I mean, I think it's £6 higher than last year anyway. So it's not quite for me. George mentioned Hickory. Absolutely loves it here. I think it's run here 8 times and been in the top 6 of those with a couple of wins. Up £3 from last time, but that was a classified sort of stakes race. So, but yeah, it will need a career best. I think its last win was off a mark of 86, and it's now 93. But yeah, that's certainly interesting. But look, at a big price, Jamie Osborne's got another one in here, which is it's a bit of a punt, right? It's probably going to be the outsider of the whole field. It's Dossman, right? First time blinkers on. It's run absolute pants the last twice at Yarmouth and Newcastle, but it's only had 8 career runs. It used to be a Roger Varian. Go back 3 runs, and it came second to Native Warrior, right? Who's a favourite in this, right? I think it's something like £13 or £14 better off based on that run in June at Newcastle. And then if you go back even further, it ran third to Peter's favourite horse in the whole world, Ombudsman, at Newmarket. June 2024. So it's obviously got a bit of form there if it can find it again. It's just had a couple of really bad runs, recently. But it was only June 2025 where it ran Native Warrior to 3/4 of a length at Newcastle. Got the blinkers on. It keeps fluffing the start. I think that's the problem with it. But I just thought it was interesting, that Dossman big price. But Native Warrior looks at the Hickory look the most sort of solid, really. But
is Safi suspended?
Yeah, I thought that because I wondered why she wasn't on Hickory. And I had a look at her book rise, and I don't think there was anything booked for her. So no.
Hope she's all right. Probably just one of those stupid bands. First time blinkers, 50 to 1. I've learned my lesson from last week. There's no way I'm letting that horse go unbacked after Andy Newton has talked it up. There's no way there's not at least a couple of euro going each way on Dossman, maybe some sterling as well. Peter Michael?
Just to touch on 2 things Andy said there. Cajun Thunder, look, he was a horse I really liked, and he won for us when we fancied him, and he's ran great races. But just, I don't know what's going on with him. He's a bit hit and miss these days where you can normally rely on him. He was hanging in his races. He's only had 1 good run in his last 6 or 7, and that was in Doncaster behind Desert Falcon. So I don't know what to expect with him anymore. Without doubt, he has ability to win this race off 95, but I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. Regarding Ombudsman being my favourite horse, I really like him. I wouldn't say he's my favourite horse. I really like him. I just know he's a better horse than Delacroix. So since you brought it up, in this race, lads, it's very tough. Again, I'm going to base it in soft ground. I'm going to take a chance with number 12. I think he's 33 to 1, 28 to 1 now. Appearist. There's a chance this horse could be over the top. So, we could lose before the race even starts because the last 2 runs haven't been great. Now, in saying that, he ran well at Ascot in, I don't remember what it was, behind Never So Brave. Ran a bit better than it reads. That was, I think, Cajun Thunder was in second in that race to Buckingham Palace Stakes, and then ran in Galway. I was actually there that day in Galway, and I fancied him. Don't know why I keep calling her. And I love Ronan Whelan. He's one of my favourite jockeys, but he gave the horse no chance that day, and he finished very, very fast. And then at York the last time was just too keen. Sorry, not the last time, second last time. And then I was disappointed with him at Ayr, but possibly stiff 8 furlongs isn't ideal for him at the moment. He could be over the top, I don't know, but if he isn't, the drop back to 7 furlongs will suit him, and the ground should be he'd love the ground. The more rain, the better for him. So if he runs his race, I think he could hit a place, and you never know, he could fall in at 28 to 1.
And he has been well backed into that 28 to 1. All right, speed round through the races at Paris Longchamp. Breaking news for you from Final Furlong Podcast Towers. We're going to do a full arc preview tomorrow. So all of the major races on Sunday will be previewed tomorrow on the Final Furlong Podcast. We'll have full team coverage of the best races from Sunday. Hopefully you'll join us for that. It'll be available Friday night, at least Saturday morning, but it should be out for you on Friday night. Okay, a couple of races that we'll spin through. So we're tight against time here, boys, so we'll rattle through these real quick. The 1 mile 7 Qatar Prix de Royallieu Group 2. good to soft ground, over mile 7. It was won by Illinois last year. Espoir Avenir was really, really impressive when he kicked Emmet out of the way last day for Joseph O'Brien. That horse comes back over again. Stefan Pasquier is back on board. I thought he had a bit of a chance that day. He was absolutely mullered by that horse, and if Furland's horse replicates that level of form, he'll be very hard to beat. Although Tennessee Stud obviously brings the classic form into the race, and he wasn't beaten far in the Prix Niel the last day, the Arc Trial. He's 2-1 favourite, but Espoir Avenir will be the one for me. George, any thoughts?
Yeah, watch me actually be quick for once. Espoir Avenir was, like you've just said, very impressive in a course and distance Group 3 last time out. He's the only winner at the trip in the race. Tennessee Stud does shake like he'll stay, but like he needs a strong pacer on that in Ireland. He's not going to get that here. This is going to be won by a horse that's used to the French style of racing. And Espoir Avenir should be odds on for this.
Oh, I love it, Chef's kiss, George Gorman. And I'm with you, my friend. We're getting 5-2. I think it's huge. Andy?
Yeah, I do respect that one as well. And I think that Sarabad is probably just worth mentioning, only because look, the Aga Khan over the years, I think he's won this race in some shape or form 8 times. Yarder in form as well, 21% strike rate with their 3-year-olds at the track. Up in trip is the bit of a gamble, but it could eke out a bit more. So I'll probably just, take you guys on as, be a bit more fun with that Sarabad, I think.
Well, if we all agree, it's just boring, quite frankly. So that's fair enough. Hey, Peter Michael, have you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I've no interest in French racing, I'm afraid. 4 whips, not interested. Don't even ride the horse properly in the last furlong. The arc, like.
If you can't use the shillelagh, what's the point? The Prix de Cadran, 133. Coltrane is the 9-4 favourite. Okay. Cabrera de Mar is 4-1. Sunway 5s. David Manussia couldn't believe how small a field it was, so he put him in there. I think that horse needs a gelding operation, but hey, maybe he'll pop up. And what crack it would be if Queenstown went and won a Group 1. If they just wheeled out Kyprios, and he looked an absolute picture in the paddock before the Irish St. Ledger when they paraded him. He'd murdered this lot, even carrying his injury. It'd be some crack if the gelding Queenstown went and won this race. George, who's going to win?
Look, Coltrane's really the only proven cup horse here. The rest of them all either got to answer whether they stay or whether they're good enough. And Coltrane he's the only one that's run to a high level in these races. You've got to forgive last time, assuming it was a prep run for this, given that he wasn't beaten far by Kyprios in last year's edition. He's probably the most likely winner. I would give a small mention. Queenstown, of the ones that need to prove they stay, Queenstown, he's got to answer the class question more, but staying on strongly in the Ebor and the Iris Cesaro, which would suggest that this test might pull more out of him. I'll probably have a small bet on Coltrane to win. I might just do Queenstown, like 1 point win, 3 points, 3 places, if that makes sense. Just cover myself in case he wins. I think he'd be in the first 3. I think it's going to pull a lot more out of him this trip. But that'd be the way I see it.
He's run 2 massive races in big handicaps under pretty big weights. Mark of 104 twice in the Ebor, and then at the Curragh only a couple of days after, about a week after running 6th in the Irish St. Ledger. I mean, he shouldn't be good enough, but this is a terrible race. Andy?
And he's been running on like a steam train as well.
Yeah, that Ebor run in particular was really eye-catching. Andy, who do you like?
Yeah. I think look, some ways probably not going to stay. Same with that Alcacib, the Baldwin horse, and it's just Coltrane for me. Second or third? Third last year in the race to Kyprios, only 2 1/4 lengths. Soft ground that day. It's the most reliable over the trip and ground and track and everything. Shocking race, really. Coltrane.
Group 1. That's a Group 1. Why do we keep producing these sprinters? I don't know, man. It's not working. The Qatar Prix, Daniel Wildenstein, the Group 2. Kudwa is favourite. Christophe Soumillon will ride for Salmon and Crisford. Alcantor for André Fab. Who do you like, George?
I haven't got a strong opinion on this one, so I will leave it.
Andy?
Yeah, same, mate. Sorry. So I'm going to have to do a Peter Michael and pass on this one.
I'll take a chance on Skakusa if Oisin Murphy can get him out quick from stall 1 and if he can get a prominent position. I think he'd be really, really interesting. Curragh obviously has Group 1 form, but does he really? He did run a big race in the City of York Stakes, so he's not one to completely underestimate. But I really like Skakusa, and I thought he shaped really, 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 really nice at York. And I think there's a valid excuse for his defeat in the Irish Champions weekend. So Skakusa is the one I will go for. And did an interview with Ed Dunlop's nephew recently. He was cycling to every single track in the UK to raise much needed funds for a very worthy charity. Lovely fella. You'd love to see the family do well. Best of luck to them. Okay. That was we're on to the Prix de Royallieu, where arguably the absolute good thing of the entire weekend runs. How far does Bedtime Story win by, George?
It's not for me, but mine might be running Sunday in the Prix Dollar instead. But I came down on Survey, so I just think she's looked in need of further on all 4 of her starts this season, including the last 3 at Group 1 level. She finished in behind Whirl in the Pretty Polly. She's been behind L'Aventure twice, and then the race at Deauville, what they call it, the Prix Jean Romanet. And every single occasion, been running on like a steam train at the death over shorter trips than this. I think step up in trip, especially being by Churchill out of the half mare, would suggest that she will improve for further. And she doesn't need to improve a whole lot to get involved here. But like I said, she is in the Prix L'Opera. Obviously, if I think she's going to run well over mile 6, I think it'd be a mistake to declare her over mile 2. But they're going to do what they're going to do. I think she's a good bet if she turns up here.
Okay, she came from the clouds to be second to Quisiana, who Laurent Barbaran really likes for the Arc at a big price in our special Arc preview. Thank you for all the engagement on that, by the way. It's much appreciated. She's definitely an interesting horse, but Bedtime Story was in front of her the last day and gets weight from her. So it's Bedtime Story for me for last year's winning team of Aidan O'Brien and Christophe Soumillon with Delacroix's sister Grateful. I'm pretty certain that this is the moment, this is the time for Bedtime Story to shine, Andy.
Yeah, like I said, they won it last year. As you did, you go to Wikipedia and it's actually got Aidan O'Brien riding the winner last year and Soumillon training it. So that's interesting.
So what you have just done is you've just proven Wikipedia is fake news.
It's fake news, yeah. Hey,
excellent.
Whoever's filled that in thinks that Aidan O'Brien's a jockey. Anyway.
Well, he was a good amateur, to be fair, back in his Jim Bulger days, but I know he's up in the gym at 4:30. How is Aidan O'Brien in the gym at 4:30 every morning?
Because he's got time. Gary Moore's mucking out.
Emmet, if you ever have Aidan on the show again, can you ask him? Because I remember somebody asked him about if he sleeps well, and he said he had a routine that he sleeps incredibly well, and he takes 5 minutes and he's fast asleep. I can't remember exactly what he said it was, but please, if you ever have him on the show, ask him, because I could do with that.
Oh, absolutely. I have got into the habit of breathing. I have got into the habit of drinking. I have got into the habit of drinking that. Shout out to Barry's tea. Barry's nighttime tea. I sound so old and so boring, but I take that and that helps me sleep a little bit. But
is that what it's called? Seriously, Barry's nighttime tea.
Barry's nighttime tea. I'm sure
Barry's tea is the Irish PG tips, Andy.
Yes, basically. But it's a specific nighttime tea, and it does the trick. You have it half an hour before you go to bed, and it can help. But it can take me ages. Yeah.
If you've got any Irish friends living in England, you go over to Ireland, you bring them back a box of Barry's tea and a multi-pack of potatoes, you'll be their best friend forever. I'd say it's the 2 things they miss the most.
I always said George Gorman was Irish, and now we have definitive proof of that. Barry's tea, potatoes. George, all you're missing is a pint of Guinness. More importantly,
unfortunately, bacon and cabbage and Guinness don't travel so well.
Now, if we can get ourselves free stuff from Tato, shout out Tato, free tea from Barry's, and a free keg of Bulmers, then we really are on the gravy train. Andy Newton, who do you like?
Santorini Star. Oh, it was gutsy last time. Beat Consent. I think the step up and trip will help. And Haggis has won, I think, 2 of the last 3. And actually, the French have got a bit of a bad record. They haven't won it since 2017. So Santorini Star for me, mate.
Okay, Santorini Star. The last race we are going to preview is the 4:35, the Prix Dollar. And Damius is favourite for this race after winning a listed race the last time. Remember how we were all thinking that Dante form, absolute rubbish, worst Dante ever. And then Pride of Aris comes out and the Line of Winter starts running well. And Damius goes and wins a listed race. But is he going to win this race, George?
I've not got him here. I've thought quite an interesting one was Bright Picture, who has a defeat of Calandigan to her name at the start of last season, as well as a second to him on sort of on this course, but with a different finishing post. While this was only run once this season. It was a 4-length win in a conditions race that saw a career best RPR. I think if there's any improvement at all to come from that, it will take a hell of a lot of beating here. And if you're into your scumbag bets, Rashabar.
Yes, George.
Place only.
Yes, George.
Rashabar, place only. We're not including the winning part, because he's proved he will finish second to anything. He was second here last year in the Prix Jean-Luc Legadier. And he finished second in everything from Group 1s, Group 2s, even dropped back to listed this year and still finished second. Just, fill your boots as much as you want, place only.
George Gorman is right, but he's also wrong. You should be backing this horse to win. Rashabar was second in the Prix Jean-Luc Legadier last year, but the horse he was beaten by went on to win the French Derby. He was second to Royal Dubai. That horse had just switched stables to Owen Burrows. He's gone on to win since, and he did us a big favour in the Final Furlong Podcast in doing so. I think he shaped very, very nicely behind the Oisin Murphy ridden. It was Oisin Murphy was on board that day, wasn't it, in the Japanese horse? Alo Ali? No, it was Christophe Patrice Lemaire. I don't know why. I've lost my mind there. Sumion was on board that day. He gets Tom Marquand for the first time. Brian Meehan won this race last year with the ill-fated JRB. He was a really good horse. Rashabar really should be at least in the first three, and there's a good old chance that he's going to win this race under the superb Tom Marquand. Andy?
The only problem is he hasn't won since the Coventry, is it? I think in 2024, Rashabar. But yeah, it's a sort of each way scumbaggy thing. Andre Farb's won 7 of these as well, so it's just something to bear in mind. He's got a couple there, I think, as well. King of Cities, obviously that form was franked last week with Boiling Point going in, the horse that it beat, so another little Boiling Point plug there. But the trip's probably a little bit worry there for that Hannon horse. So Damius probably. Look, Gosden's won this, I think, 4 times. First one back in 1993. So it was last, I think, in the Derby, wasn't it, back in June, but bounced back at Deauville last time. And this is its trip, I think, mile and a quarter. So, Damius, I think.
Any other business, we will kick off with America, where our old favourite Diego Velasquez is going to run. Diego Velasquez now runs in the Sangster Silks. It is fantastic to see Aidan O'Brien training the Robert Sangster Silks to Group 1 success, and it'll be great for Sam Sangster if this horse can go and do it again. Frankie Dettori, fresh from his Grade 1 win in Rebels Romance last week, is going to be on board Diego Velasquez, and he really should just go and win this race. There's plenty of pace on, and he will be ridden very handily, but this is a proper racehorse. We've been saying this for quite a while on the Final Furlong Podcast, that he's an absolute superstar. He was done no favours first time out in the Queen Anne Stakes. That was his first run after a layoff. Aidan O'Brien really wants to get a prep run into him. He missed 2 intended preps before that race. You can ignore that run. Dropped in class, dropped in trip, he wins, and then he goes on to win the Group 1. The form was franked by notable speech going to Canada and winning. He really should just outclass this lot, and he's probably a decent bet for the Breeders' Cup Mile as well. Diego Velasquez in the Coolmore Keeneland Turf Stakes, 10:48, live on Sky Sports Racing. He's going into the multiples, and the morning line is 7-2. There is no way you're getting 7-2. If you are, scumbag each way bet. George Gorman, any other business?
Yeah, we'll carry on in order of how far they are from my house. From America, next up, Gowran Park, the Champion Chase, the Grade 2. Western Fold rounded off a hat-trick of wins with an impressive performance in the Galway Plate a few months ago. While he takes a small step back in trip here, he's best in at the weights, and he's a course winner, and somehow Blood Destiny always is one of those things. You see that horse at favourite, go in as favourite. It's like an elephant in a tree, innit? You don't know how he got there, but you know he's coming down. And so that'd be Western Fold, be first up. Then next furthest from my house is Redcar. We've got the 356, the listed Guisborough Stakes over 7 furlongs. Volterra and Room Service are clear on ratings, but Volterra is a course and distance winner, comes here off a career best, while Room Service comes here off a disappointing effort at Doncaster last time. That horse is 9-4, should be significantly shorter. And finally, the opener at Ascot, which is on ITV, it's the listed October Stakes over 7 furlongs. Cajole is best in at the weights, has been running well in the higher grade. Last time she ran the listed event, she was narrowly beaten by Blue Bolt, who was in turn beaten very narrowly in a Sandown Group 3 on her next start. So it'd be Cajole for me at 5-1.
I like that. 350 at Newmarket, the Big Fillies Handicap. Oranis, I'm going to go with that pronunciation. By Sea the Stars, the Dam is a winning half-sister to Group 1 winner Almanzor, triple Group 1 winner, comes into this in the back of a career best effort. She's up 7 pounds, but she was very impressive the last day, and a mark of 89 probably underestimates her ability. She's got winning form and good to firm. We're probably not going to get that ground, but I think she'll be okay. William Agus has won this twice in the last 7 years, including last year. Colin Keane was booked to ride her during the week. He has been jocked off and replaced by William Buick. There are very few people who ride that track better than Buick. I think he's a really good jockeying booking. He's riding her for the first time. She's eligible to continue improving. RNS is going to be going into a multiple bet for sure. Andy Newton, that's the 350 at Newmarket. Andy Newton, any other business for you?
Just quickly on that race that George touched on, only because it's on ITV, that 1:15 at Ascot, is it a group? It's a listed race. Yeah, look, Haggis has won 3 of the last 8, and he's got that Nadra. But Beckett's actually got quite a good record in this. He's won 2 of the last 7. He's got 3 in it. He's got that Dash of Azure, Circios, and he's got 1 Fair Point as well, first time blinkers, which I think is a massive price, 25-1, down in grade. We know it likes the track, and yeah, look, I don't know, I just caught my eye. Stall 4 is absolutely fine as well. 8 of the last 10 have come from 3 to 7, and all of the last 10 have been aged 3 and 4 in this race, which is pretty much all of them apart from 1 outsider. But yeah, it's interesting. He's got 3 in it, but Fair Point in that 1:15 at Ascot.
Okay, I'll give you one more to really try and shoot the lights out. This is a dart. But Gel Pepper is a brother to Ballymount Boy, who was second to Van Dijk in the Group 2 Richmond Stakes, third in a Group 3, and won a listed race over 6 furlongs in his final start at Doncaster as a 2-year-old. This horse himself was third to the mighty Zavateri, the unbeaten European champion juvenile elect in the Group 2 July Stakes in his second start. The 4th Brussels was obviously second in the Middle Park Stakes in Group 1 company last week. He was sent off 6-4 for a sales race at Naas, but he was completely undone by the draw. And then he caught the eye last time out when behind the exciting Calendar Girl in the sales race at Doncaster. Song of the Clyde may very well have boosted the form before this race goes off, I think, or it might be the other way around. Third run after a gelding up, he gets Colin Keane for the first time, and he's eligible to improve for the application of a tongue tie and first run over 7 furlongs. He's 12-1. Gel Pepper will be my final selection of the weekend. Peter, Michael, any other business?
To be honest, it's impossible to say today. Like, I don't know what the grounds condition is going to be, so there's no other business for me at the moment, unfortunately.
Which then means naps. The naps, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to save Andy Newton's nap till last. You're going to have to wait to find out who Andy Newton likes, which leads me to the question, have you smashed the like button on this video? Have you smashed the like button on YouTube? Have you entered our competition as well? You can win a month's subscription to Peter Michael's excellent Telegram group. All you have to do is tell us who you think is going to win the 5-10 at the Curragh, the Final Furlong Podcast with 1xBet Handicap. Who do you think is going to win the 5-10 at the Curragh on Saturday? Comment now on YouTube with your selection. Best of luck to you. Whoever gets it right, if you're in a dead heat with somebody else, we'll do a draw next week. If you're the standalone winner or you're the one who has the closest, highest finishing position of all those who've commented, then congratulations. You get access to one of the best in the business for free for 1 month to his Telegram group. It's a fantastic prize. Well done, Peter, for offering that. That's really kind of you. You can comment now on YouTube, and obviously check out Peter's selections at Peter Michael Racing on X. The naps. Peter Michael.
Well, it's hard to have a nap this weekend, so I probably shouldn't do this because I don't want to sway people, but I'm going to go with the Final Furlong Podcast race because it is the best race of the weekend. Now, it's not really a nap if I'm being honest, but I mean, there's nothing. It's just too hard to know what the ground's going to be like at the big tracks. Obviously, Curragh's a big track as well. What I mean is the bigger races. So I'll put in the Final Furlong handicap. Did I say that enough, Emmet? Caesar G. I'll go with Caesar G. But look, it's not really a nap if you know what I mean. But it does have a chance. I'm worried it might need longer, but hopefully it'll be bottomless. Now, don't let that sway the people commenting to pick a horse to that race. Don't feel you have to go for that.
Just remember, you're not being original if you go with Caesar G, and also loads of other people are going to do that too. So don't be afraid to go for your own selection. But hey, if you are the first one in, does that even count if you're the first one in? No, we're going to have to just draw.
No, we'll do a draw for a bit of fun.
Yeah. We'll have to do a virtual draw.
Handicap. You'll be doing well to pick the winner of that race.
Everybody put in Caesar G, back the horse. If the horse goes and wins, we create a massive gamble on the day. Hopefully we'll get to hand the trophy off to the winning connections on the afternoon on Saturday as well at the Curragh. Listen, don't overcomplicate it. Go with Peter Michael. That's his selection, and it's the Final Furlong Podcast with 1xBet Handicap, 5:10 Curragh, Saturday.
That's a tough race, though.
That's Peter Michael's nap. That's Peter's nap.
Well,
unprompted. Liking that. Okay, George Gorman, your nap.
Yeah, I'm going fully French for the nap and next best. The nap is going to be in the 12:23 at Longchamp, the Prix Dollar. Espoir Avenir is French for hope for the future. So I'm hoping that they have plenty of hope for this race when they gave me a year off the track. That's the nap at 3-1. I think it's absolutely buying money.
And clearly somebody agrees. Ringing to get on now at 1xBet.
The next best will be Bright Picture in the Prix Dollar, the 435. That's 8-1. And the best each way big price sort of one of the weeks in the 2-year-old trophy at Redcar, the 320 exclamation at 20-1.
Okay, I had a winning nap last week as well with Bo Echo. I don't know how he was 9-4, 15-8. It was absolute madness.
Emmet, that's because another podcast said he was the worst value bet of the whole weekend, the worst favourite.
Really? Other opinions are welcome, and people are entitled to their opinions. And that
absolutely,
that pundit is very good, and for whatever reason, he took a view that was wrong. That's okay. We've been wrong about loads of things, but
don't be watching that pod. This is the podcast for the winners. Don't waste your time. But seriously,
we won't make you log in 6 times to watch this podcast
and verify you're human. Can you prove you're human? After you've managed to get the login and then it still makes you prove you're human and you have to read it. Oh, my goodness. Okay, I'm going to nap Fallen Angel. I think she's got a massive chance in the Sun Chariot Stakes. She'll be up at the pace. I think she's going to win. I was going to nap Espoir Avenir. Hope for the future. Well done, George. But I don't want to take George's nap. So I'll go Fallen Angel. Espoir Avenir is next best. Bedtime Story, I'm very confident about. Rashabar and Diego Velasquez will round off what will be a lucky 31 for me. But I'll include one of Oranus and Gel Pepper, and I'll just learn my lesson from last week. I'll do multiple little lucky 63s, so if they all connect, then we'll win. And one of those bets may be extended to a Super Heinz to include whoever Andy Newton naps, because this thing's an absolute stone cold certainty. Gamble responsibly. Andy Newton, what is the banker of the weekend?
Mate, it's going to be tricky to follow last week, obviously. And it's not going to be as big a price as that. Look, Hamish is going to be the nap, right? So it might have been a bit disappointing for some people.
I'm getting on now. Hold on.
Yeah,
in the 25, the Cumberland Lodge.
He's going to go off 3s on.
Quick.
Hamish is going to go off 1 to 3.
But look, and the next best, we talked about Quinault in the 3 o'clock at Ascot. I like that one each way. The 115, I like that fair point. I think it's overpriced at 25-1. And then Sunday nap in the Arc. Right, look, 18 of the last 23 winners have been drawn 8 or lower. 16 of the last 23 have been 6 or lower. So the draw set, go over to Sportscasting or have a look at my Twitter feed. There's loads of trends and stuff on there. But that is probably, I think, one of the best stats for the Arc in terms of the draw. All right, so you want to be 8 or lower. Dariaz is that fits the bill, drawn 2. Aga Khan, crying out for the longer trip, I think, and won't mind it, soft ground if it comes. So yeah, that's like 12-1. I think Darius for the Arc at the moment.
My brother, 12-1 Darius is just bonkers. I think Stall 2 is okay too. Miguel Barcelona to pull off a wonder strike. Who else do you like for the Arc? People, everybody. George, do you have a selection for the Arc?
I was sort of siding more towards the Japanese horses just on the basis that it's probably not the best Arc. I was just waiting to see which one was drawn best. Which one was it, Andy? So I haven't had a look at the draw.
Ali, what's his name?
Ali, whatever that one is called. Yeah, they're drawn really high.
It's like a few quid on that each way. French jockey on board as well. Yeah, they've got to win it sooner or later.
Drawn 4, I think.
This little video thing that we've got in the background, the little montage for YouTube, can we get just a clip of the Japanese fans cheering on Favre and then the devastation when she gets collared? He gets collared. Can we get that in the background and just have it in the background playing, but no commentary about it whatsoever? We never comment on it. It's just a bunch of people losing their minds. It's one of the greatest clips ever. Hey, the thing that's funny about it is we've all been there. Every single one of us has been cheering on a horse go, good thing, history. Oh no. Every one of us has had that feeling. That's why it's funny. Okay. Arc selection, Peter Michael?
I really haven't looked at it properly yet. To be honest, 4 whips, I'm not into it. I respect the arc, I love the arc, but jockeys have to save it for the last furlong. They can't ride their horse. They might have a furlong to go and they can't use the whip anymore. It's a load of bollocks. I'm sorry. It's a load of... I've lost respect for French racing. I have no interest in it. If they take the whip away totally, I won't watch it. No interest. It's not racing. I mean, look at Rosalian's race. That's not racing. Dude, it's not racing. Sean Levy couldn't use his whip to make his horse go faster when he was gaining ground. And he's using it, if there's such a term, responsibly. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't, one after the other.
Hey, I'm with you. There is no peer-reviewed study anywhere on the planet that says the Pro Cush causes pain to race horses when it's used correctly.
And just go away. No interest.
The Pro Cush is made of fiberglass and foam padding. It was developed with input from the RSPCA, and it's not a welfare issue. Even when the BHA announced their whip rules, they specifically stated Julie Harrington went out of her way to make the point, this is not about welfare. It's not a welfare issue. It's about optics and trying to make the sport more aesthetically pleasing. Well, that was a disaster. Well done, Julie. Fantastic initiative. Absolute clown show. Clown show of stuff. But anyway, I'll literally just start getting mad and go off on a rant and a rampage if we talk about that. We were going to talk to David O'Mara on TalkSport 2 tomorrow, but Estrange has been ruled out of the Arc, which is a real shame for David and for Cheveley Park. Hopefully she's okay, and maybe they'll be kind enough to race her again next year because she's a lovely filly. There may be another opportunity for her as well. Champions Day, perhaps, if she's okay. All right, Gabe. We will do a full preview of Sunday at Paris Longchamp, including the Arc, on the Final Furlong podcast tomorrow. It'll be out Friday evening. Hopefully you can join us for that. Make sure you're watching the Curragh, 3 races sponsored by 1xBet, one of them being the last race. Make sure you get your entries in now as to who you think will win the feature race of the entire weekend, the 1xBet, the Final Furlong podcast with 1xBet Handicap, 510 Curragh. Tell us now who you think is going to win.
But they must like and subscribe though as well, obviously.
Thank you, Peter.
Yeah,
your comment is not enough.
I can take over if you like.
You have to also have subscribed to this channel for free and hit a like on this video. Then your entry is... And if we discover that you put in your comment, but you didn't like the video, you're instantly disqualified. Instantly disqualified! I'm sure that you have already hit the like button anyway. We really appreciate your support of the show. It means a lot to us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. George Gorman, Andy Newton, Peter Michael, knocking it out of the park, as I'm sure you will agree once again. Enjoy your racing this weekend. We'll talk to you again tomorrow for Sunday's preview. It's a fantastic weekend's racing from George, Andy, and Peter, and me. Look after yourself and each other. God bless.
Thanks for spending some time with us on the Final Furlong podcast. We're independent media, so if you like what we do, hit like, share, and subscribe. It's free, it's quick, and it genuinely helps. And if you enjoyed this episode, there's plenty more where that came from. Don't miss out. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all major platforms, and join us on the gravy train. The Final Furlong podcast, independent, unfiltered, and powered by you.